Don't expect a gift from me. That's what my sister Natalie said when she handed me the baby shower invitation. Pale pink envelope, gold lettering, my name written in her perfect cursive. I looked at her, waiting for the joke. She wasn't joking. You can't afford it anyway, she added, her hand resting on her pregnant belly like a crown. Just show up and try not to embarrass me. Asterisk the coffee shop suddenly felt too small. The espresso machine too loud. I held the invitation between my fingers, the expensive cardstock rough against my skin. I'll be there, I said quietly. She smiled, that specific smile she'd perfected since we were kids. The one that said she'd already won. Asterisk my name is Claire Morgan. I'm 32, a librarian in Boston. Living in a rent-controlled apartment with radiators that clank and a cat named Fitzgerald. My sister Natalie is 29, married to a tech executive. Living in a glass-walled penthouse in the Seaport District. She's always been the golden one, the beautiful one, the one who married well. I was the smart one, which in our family meant the disappointing one. Asterisk the baby shower was set for 3 weeks out. A Sunday afternoon at some boutique event space overlooking the harbor. The invitation listed a registry at stores I'd never shopped at. Items with price tags that made my stomach turn. Organic crib sheets, $200. Designer diaper bag, $800. A nursing chair that cost more than my monthly rent. I looked at the list and felt something cold settle in my chest. Asterisk, but it wasn't the prices that hurt. It was the message Natalie had written at the bottom of my invitation in that same perfect cursive. Claire, I know money is tight for you. Just bring yourself, that's gift enough. Zoxo, like charity, like pity. Like I was the poor relative they tolerated out of obligation. Asterisk I'd spent my whole life being tolerated. Growing up, Natalie got ballet lessons while I got library cards. She got new dresses for every occasion while I wore hand-me-downs that never quite fit. Our parents justified it easily. Natalie needs to look the part, Mom would say. You're more practical, Claire. You understand. I understood that I didn't matter as much. I understood that my dreams were less important than Natalie's image. Asterisk when Natalie got engaged. I wasn't asked to be maid of honor. I wasn't even a bridesmaid. It's nothing personal, she'd said over lunch, picking at a salad that cost $24. My bridesmaids are all from Kyle's social circle. You know how it is, I didn't know how it was. I just knew I'd been erased from another milestone. Asterisk the baby shower invitation felt like another erasure. Another reminder that I was the sister they kept around for appearances, not for love. But then I remembered something. A conversation at Christmas 3 years ago when Natalie had too much champagne. We were alone in our parents' kitchen and she'd gotten careless with her words. Asterisk I'm only marrying Kyle for the money, she'd laughed. Not realizing I could hear her on the phone in the next room. He's boring as hell, but did you see that ring? And his family's loaded. I'll stick it out for a few years, have a kid, then divorce him and take half. It's basically a business plan, she'd laughed again. That tinkling sound she used when she wanted to sound charming. No, Mom doesn't know. God, can you imagine? She thinks I'm in love, asterisk I'd never told anyone. I'd tucked it away, another secret I carried for a sister who wouldn't carry anything for me. But now, holding this invitation with its dismissive message, I pulled that memory back out. And I started planning. Asterisk the baby shower was everything I expected. Perfectly decorated, every detail curated for Instagram. Blush pink balloons, gold accents, a dessert table that looked like art. Women in designer dresses sipped mimosas and cooed over tiny clothes. Natalie sat in the center, literally on a throne, a white velvet chair draped with tulle and roses. She glowed, not just with pregnancy, but with the attention she'd always craved. Asterisk Kyle stood near the bar, checking his phone, looking exhausted. He'd lost weight since the wedding, dark circles under his eyes. I watched him watch Natalie and I saw something that looked like resignation. Or maybe regret. Asterisk I arrived late, deliberately. Wearing a dress from Target and carrying a small wrapped box. Natalie's eyes found me across the room and her smile faltered before she caught herself. Claire, you made it. She called out, her voice bright and false. Everyone, this is my sister Claire. She's a librarian. Asterisk the way she said librarian made it sound like a disease. Polite smiles, quick assessments of my outfit, then they turned back to Natalie. I was dismissed before I even sat down. Asterisk I placed my gift on the table with the others. Tiny box dwarfed by elaborate packages tied with silk ribbons. Natalie glanced at it, eyebrows raised. How thoughtful, she said, in a tone that meant the opposite. Asterisk the shower followed its script. Games where everyone laughed too loud, stories about Natalie's perfect pregnancy. Predictions about the baby. I sat quietly in the back, watching, waiting. When it came time to open gifts, Natalie made a show of each one. Squealing over cashmere blankets, designer onesies, A high-tech baby monitor that probably had more features than my laptop. She opened my gift last. The small box looked even smaller in her hands. She pulled off the ribbon, lifted the lid, and stared. Her smile froze. Inside was a flash drive. Just a small black flash drive on a bed of tissue paper. What is this? She asked, trying to sound amused. I stood up slowly. It's a gift, I said, my voice carrying across the suddenly quiet room. I thought everyone might want to see it. There's a projector here, right? For the slideshow? Natalie's face went pale. Claire, what are you? But Kyle had already taken the drive, curious. Is it baby photos or something? He asked, walking to the laptop connected to the projector. Let's see. Don't, Natalie said, but her voice came out wrong, too sharp, too scared. Kyle paused, looked at her, then at me. I smiled. It's just a recording, I said. From Christmas 3 years ago. I thought it would be nice to remember. Kyle plugged in the drive. The projector hummed to life. And then Natalie's voice filled the room. Crystal clear from that phone call I'd recorded while washing dishes in the kitchen. I'm only marrying Kyle for the money. He's boring as hell, but did you see that ring? And his family's loaded. I'll stick it out for a few years, have a kid, then divorce him and take half. It's basically a business plan. The room went silent. Someone's champagne flute hit the floor, crystal shattering. Natalie stood up so fast her throne tipped backward. That's taken out of context, but the recording kept playing. 3 minutes of damning conversation. Her laughing about Kyle's family. Planning her exit strategy. Joking about getting pregnant to secure child support. Every cold, calculated word. Kyle's face had gone gray. His mother, sitting near the front, had her hand over her mouth. The room full of perfectly dressed women stared at Natalie like she'd grown a second head. Turn it off, Natalie begged, looking at me with something close to panic. Claire, please, turn it off. I walked to the laptop and stopped the playback. The silence that followed was deafening. Kyle spoke first, his voice hollow. Is that real? Natalie's eyes filled with tears, the pretty kind she'd always been able to summon. Baby, no, I was drunk. I didn't mean. 3 years ago, his mother said quietly. Before you even got engaged, Natalie turned to her, hands up, pleading. It was just talk, stupid talk. I love Kyle. You love his money, I said. And my voice didn't shake. You always have. Just like you loved having a sister you could make feel small. Someone to stand next to so you looked better. Natalie's tears turned real then. Mascara tracking down her face. How could you do this to me? I'm pregnant. This is my baby shower, and you told me not to bring a gift because I couldn't afford one. I replied. You told me to just show up and try not to embarrass you. Well, I showed up. And I brought exactly what you deserved. Kyle's mother stood, gathering her purse. Kyle, we're leaving, he nodded, moving like a man underwater. As he passed Natalie, he stopped. I'll have my lawyer contact yours. Then he walked out. His mother followed. And then, like dominoes, the rest of the guests stood and left. Whispered apologies, shocked faces. But they all left. Within 5 minutes, the perfectly decorated space was empty except for Natalie. Still standing by her overturned throne, and me. You've ruined everything, she whispered. My marriage, my baby's family, everything. I picked up my purse. No, Natalie. You ruined it 3 years ago when you decided to use someone. I just made sure everyone knew. He'll leave me, she said, and for once, she sounded small. He'll leave me, and the baby, then you'll figure it out, I said. The way I've figured out every single thing in my life that you and mom and dad didn't think was worth helping with. You'll adapt. You're smart when you want to be. You're just used to taking shortcuts through other people. I walked toward the door, then paused. For what it's worth, I hope you become a good mother. Maybe loving someone more than yourself will teach you something. I didn't wait for her response. I left her there, surrounded by unopened gifts and broken plans. The recording had been surprisingly easy to make. I'd been washing dishes, phone in my pocket, voice memo app running. I never planned to use it. But I never deleted it either. And when that invitation came with its condescending message, I knew exactly what gift to give. My phone buzzed with messages before I even got home. My mother, furious. Natalie's friends, calling me horrible names. A few people, surprisingly, thanking me for exposing the truth. I turned my phone off and sat in my quiet apartment, Fitzgerald purring on my lap. I didn't feel triumphant. I felt tired, but also lighter. Like I'd been carrying Natalie's secrets along with my own insecurities for so long that I'd forgotten what it felt like to stand up straight. 3 days later. Kyle filed for separation. His lawyers were already working on the prenup violations. Natalie moved back in with our parents. The baby would come in 3 months. And everyone was carefully not talking about what would happen after. Asterisk, my mother called once. Voice cold. You've destroyed this family. I almost laughed. No, Mom, I just stopped pretending we were functional. She hung up. We haven't spoken since. Asterisk, but my father called a week later. His voice was different, softer. Your sister used people, he said quietly. I didn't want to see it, but you were right. It wasn't an apology. But it was acknowledgement. Sometimes that's enough. Asterisk, I kept working at the library. Kept living my small, ordinary life. But ordinary stopped feeling like an insult. It started feeling like peace. Like a life I'd chosen instead of one I'd been assigned. Asterisk, if you've ever been the sister who's made to feel less than. The one who's kept around for convenience instead of love. Know this, you don't owe anyone your silence. You don't owe them your secrets. You don't owe them the protection of their lies. Asterisk, sometimes the kindest thing you can do is tell the truth. Even when it shatters everything. Especially then. Because some things need to break before they can heal. And some people need to fall before they learn to stand on their own. Asterisk, I gave my sister exactly what she asked for. I showed up. And I gave her a gift she'll never forget. The truth. Wrapped in a flash drive. Delivered with a smile. Asterisk, that's not cruelty. That's clarity. And sometimes, clarity is the only gift worth giving.